What's up, guys? Welcome to the CGPATRIOT podcast, Awaken with Reason. Today is March 12th, 2021, and I wanted to follow up with a video that I did yesterday, the Sarah Jacera video. And if you haven't subscribe below. I also have links to videos below as well. So let's get into it. Today I looked at Twitter and I saw this interesting article that ties to Sarah Jacera. And the more interesting part about this is that it also has to do with the Vatican. So let me share this with you real quick. So here's the article, AP. And this is today, this is recent. Vatican low on reserves to cover deficit-seeking donations. The Vatican warned Friday that it has nearly depleted its financial reserves from past donations to cover budget deficits over recent years, as it urged continued giving from the faithful to keep the Holy See afloat and Pope Francis' ministry going. Okay, so I'm not sure if the Vatican has ever run out of money prior to this year. I'll dig on that. I don't think I've ever seen an article like this. So what I want to do is I want to show you kind of a timeline from the beginning of this year, and then I'll end I'll end with this article to kind of give you perspective on why this truly stands out to me. All right. So in early 2020, this was released. So U.S. imports record amount of gold from Switzerland as virus upends trade. Okay. So the U.S. of all years in 2020 imports record amount of gold from Switzerland. Where is most of the gold, or at least a good portion of it, from what I understand, the Vatican's and the world's money in the central bank is where? All right, in Switzerland. So this was an interesting one, and this can go into the concept that there's a lot of stories out there, not sure how legit they are, but planefuls of gold that were taken from the Vatican as they took down the Vatican behind the scenes in early 2020. So that's what I heard. And I heard that a lot of those guys are either in, Gitmo or have been taken care of, if you know what I mean. So again, this is the article that I saw today. This is where it's going. All right, let's go on to the next one. So this was this is March 30th, 2020. The U.S. government has absorbed the Federal Reserve. The Fed independence debate is moot. So again, Vatican imports gold, record amount. U.S. government has absorbed the Federal Reserve, which is fiat currency that is controlled by the central bank and basically has kept us in slavery for almost 100 years. So we'll go on to the next one. 100 trillion stolen by Wall Street. Could President Trump seize it all with share intel documents? So this one is by Robert David Steele, and I've heard that more than 100 trillion has been stolen. I've heard upwards of 200 trillion. And then when you combine that with all of the families, all of the top of the pyramid folks, it's like quadrillions. It's in the zeros that just go on for days. So if you're wondering how this ties together to Sarah Jacera, that's where the funds are going to come from. We're taking the fund, or the people are taking the funds that were stolen from them back. Okay. So I'm going to show you a real quick part of this video.
The money they were making from shorting stocks to start, and later on many other securities. At one point, I remember in 1999, 80%, it was estimated that 80% of NASDAQ firm shorts income was produced by short selling.
And of that 80% of income produced by short selling, how much of that was naked short selling, where they were using counterfeit shares and failing to deliver?
It was at least half, and it got larger.
So we're talking...
One of the points I want to make here is that this problem has not gone away because people quit paying attention to it. In fact, if any...
So, I was holding these up to hear the video. And I'll put that link to the video in the in the description below. So basically what he's saying is that half of all short selling over the past few years has been something called naked short selling, which means that there is no asset. They're selling, imagine having a car which would represent a bar of gold, okay, physical gold, and you sell, in reference to the car, you sell the slip to your car, the ownership, 1,000 times, but only one person actually physically can own the car. Okay, so this is what they've been doing. They've been taking fake inventory, which they do not have, in a little bit more complex than that, but they've been selling it without it actually being backed. So in essence, and as you'll notice, the gold prices are being suppressed in order for the banks to buy it up so they can cover these naked short sells. And if they can't cover it, the whole thing collapses. And that's good for us. So, all right. I'll put a link to this video below. So we remember this, right? So this fast forward to February 25th, 2021. And this is far more recent. This is when the Federal Reserve payment crash happened, right? So the Fed was down, okay? And it's interesting because this was barely covered by the news. I don't think most news outlets covered this. I had to go to a different article here, and I think a lot of the news sites kind of stacked it farther down on the list of newsworthy articles. But this is huge, right? So the Fed is absorbed early in the year by the Treasury, and now the Fed's down. So it's a clear indicator something's going on, right? And from what I've researched and the people I've heard from on this topic is that this all has to do with the quantum financial system, the good one, and Nasser Jassera, okay? And then this goes back down to the first article, right? So Vatican low on reserves to cover deficit seeking donations, which it was today. Interesting article, right? Never seen this before. Never heard the Vatican. And if you have, please send me the article or post it in the comments below. I might be wrong on this. I'm going to do far more digging after this video. I just wanted to be as close in proximity to this article as possible because it stuck out like a sore thumb when I saw it on Twitter. Okay? And I'll bring you back to this gold demand and supply, which is on that usdebtclock.org. And as you'll notice, China, gold demand by country in ounces. This is current, right? China is heads upwards of 30 million, right, ounces. And look where the United States is, okay? So I haven't done a back-to-back comparison. China is a larger, obviously, country than us. But it seems as though our demand, obviously, has been met because we drained the Vatican. And we imported all of that gold into the U.S. And the Federal Reserve has been absorbed into the Treasury. And the Federal Reserve crashed to turn on the QFS system. Okay? Alright? So, we don't have much demand. Vatican low on their reserves. We import a record amount. Okay? And then we got this 100 trillion stolen by Wall Street. So, I'm pretty sure this has all been taken care of, from what I've heard. Okay? So, let's go to the end screen here. Let's go back to the US debt clock. And then let's take a look at the dollar to silver ratio. We went over this yesterday in the video. I'll put the link below, and I'm going to go into more detail on this probably this weekend. I think I'm going to try to carve out some time to make this video. But if you see, currently, and you know what, I haven't pulled up JM Bullion yet, right? I haven't seen the current price of silver today, but let's check it out. By the way, Canadian silver maples are gorgeous coins. So silver ask is 26.02 today. Gold is $1,733.86. Okay, let's put that back to back with this, right? So we've got gold at the ask currently is 1733. The amount of gold that would cover the amount of fiat currency that exists in the world today, okay, would be 35, well, at least in the US today, I'm sorry, at least in the US today, US fiat, US dollar currency, fiat currency, to back it. So if the gold is going to back it, which we've seen, we're getting gold from Switzerland, okay. Again, it's all theoretical, but we're tying this together, and there are no coincidences, right? So we got a ton of gold, the Fed's absorbed, and the Fed went down, and there's a lot of articles about the QFS and the reset, which is the bad one. There's a bad reset, and then there's a good QFS system, okay? And I'll get into that at a later date. So again, if you buy an ounce of gold, this will be your yield, ideally, to match the dollar amount that currently exists. So when you back it, you have to match that dollar amount, right? So this is super suppressed right now, this gold ask. And it's on purpose. It's these banks, going back to the $100 trillion in naked short selling that's occurred, are trying to suppress the gold so they can buy enough so they don't go bust, okay? And then if, again, I'm the one, I prefer silver. It's just a lot cheaper to get into. There's a lot more utility to silver. It's using a lot of electronics. It's very hard to produce in as far as taking the raw material and producing it into a product that's usable, okay, to refine it. So the silver ask is 2602, and ideally the return would be $4,926. Now I haven't done the math yet, but that seems like a good return. All right, so guys, I just wanted to show you how I see in how we all see. You know, we see these small little articles like this, and then the light bulb goes off in your head, and it makes you go back down a path that brought you here, right? So again, all right. So I'll put all the links to these articles in the description below, and I'll try to make a video this weekend, a little bit more detail about Nicera Jacera and some of the videos that I've watched in regards to the QFS system. If you're not familiar with it, it can sound like it's a bad thing because there is the reset by the deep state that they're trying to bring forth. You see it in Time magazine and everything. But this is the good one. These are the white hats are doing the QFS. The black hats are trying to do the reset, okay? All right. So I'll put these links in the description below, and I'll see if I can create another video this weekend for you guys. I also wanted to say I appreciate you guys coming to the channel. I appreciate all of the feedback, and I wanted to give a shout out to all my folks on Twitter. Thanks for the support. Thanks for sharing my videos there. And again, this is really just it's therapeutic for me to share this information with you guys, and it's an easier platform for me to get it out. So I'll be creating a Rumble account shortly, probably this weekend. I'll share that with you guys, and if this one goes down, you can find me there. All right, guys. You have a great weekend. Stay frosty, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.